It was a whole thing, and then we were on time to that.
You guys did. You made it.
And we were on time to this one too. So whoop, woo, thank you.
The world keeps testing us, but
And we're like, yep, we're gonna keep on going.
I love it. Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of Level Up Cleveland. This week we try something a little different as we bring in some fellow podcasters. We have the girls in here from LoCle Grown Cleveland.
Hey. Hello. How you doing?
I guess it's not really locally grown Cleveland. It's just locally grown. But, they're from, this is a Cleveland thing, so we just throw Cleveland in there all the time, like our name.
Yep.
You gotta just,
Sprinkle it in there.
Exactly. Throw it down.
So you guys have some interesting stuff. Usually I've already said the names of everybody, but because of your guys' situation, I want to just kind of ease into this. You have the same name.
Yeah, we do.
One and done.
And it's not like your name is Michelle or anything. It's Jordan. It's not even a real common name, but you guys have the exact same name. So you guys have some nicknames that you guys kind of go with, and I think it's to help separate.
Yeah.
Yep.
For other people's sake, they know who they're talking to, right?
Exactly.
So we have Jay Laird.
That's me.
And that's because you're Jordan Laird?
That is, full name. Jordan Laird. It was a big popular name of the 90s, so I think Jerb's got like the second half of that, with the
We have
90 name.
Jerbs.
Yep.
Jerbs.
Yep.
Jerbs.
And that's Jordan Urban.
Yep.
So you can see where the names come from. Jerbs is Jordan. The first, last names. You guys do the whole thing. Interesting story. How you guys have gotten to the point where you're at now with the podcast. You've known each other for a long time, right? The podcast didn't bring you together, but it kind of did, right? I mean, it kind of brought you together in this aspect of things, right? So let's talk about all that. Let's talk about how this whole the podcast itself got started. You guys, because you guys actually had a radio show before this,
Yes.
college radio show, Baltimore.
Yeah,
The Sting.
88.3 FM, The Sting, WBWC Berea.
Yep.
So what did you guys do? What you actually did the radio show? Did you do it with the radio show with her also? So what did you guys? What was the radio show like? What was it basically? Just playing tunes?
So that's how LoCle Grown started. Was at Baldwin Wallace's radio station. When I was a student there, I was a student from 2014 to 2018. Loved the station. Like, Jerbs lived vicariously through me with the college experience.
I did the weather. That's how I started out.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. I would just throw her a card and just be like, go read the weather. Like, she flawlessly would do it.
Thank you.
By the way.
I was so nervous.
Or a billboard, anything. But I spent my whole life at the radio station. It's a very cool program too to get into. If anybody here is listening, highly recommend their radio station. It is top tier. It's actually the first student-run radio station and oldest in the country.
What do you mean by student run?
So usually at CSU or Walsh Jesuit, those colleges, and a lot of colleges across the country, Akron, everything is kind of run by teachers and advisors, and then the students are like the DJs. The Sting has the students as the promotions director, the music director, the programming director, the business director, the traffic, they're doing every single thing, and they call themselves a pre-professional radio station. So we were doing the shit. We were in there. I was working with I was a promotions manager working with House of Blues and Blossom, getting tickets to give away on air. Just invested my whole time there, all 4 years, graduated, and I always wanted to do this live music show. I was super enthralled by seeing, shout out DK of, I can't even, Island Time on Monday nights. Dennis King does a trop rock show there, and he had this trop rock band from Put-in-Bay live performing when I was a freshman, and I was like, I want to do that shit. That looked awesome. It was a dude with a big stand-up bass and a guy with a mandolin, and they were singing, harmonizing. I was like, this is awesome. I want to do this. And then worked so hard at the radio station that I never got to do the thing I wanted to do. So when I graduated, I took a step back, did some other stuff, and then I was like, all right, 2019, like
Now is the time.
let's go. Like we have this beautiful station. They were looking for people to fill up their time. So I was like, Tuesday nights at 10. I was like, can I come in and have like local bands play? They were like, sure. So we did, I did like the first 2 by myself, and I was like, no.
And then she texted me and she was like, hey, I need your help.
Yeah, I was like, this could be like a bigger thing than what I'm making it to be right now. So like, I was like, I need my cohort, my other Jordan, like.
So you guys were bringing the bands into the studio and having them play live in the studio?
Mm-hmm. With an interview, too.
How did you guys pull that all off? I mean, there's a lot that goes into all that. How do you capture the sound and then mix it and then have it come out sounding good?
Well, the thing with radio is like it's live. So I would just sit there. The mics were very similar to the ones we have here in the studio. So it was kind of like choir style.
So you just mic the whole area up and then that was it?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
If it was like, you would adjust it to whoever, like whatever is happening. We had Modern Electric come in and we would just have them like plug their keyboard into the board because there was an aux capability and then mic up the voices. It was just, ebb it and you
Plug and
flow.
play.
It wasn't perfect every time.
Right.
But, like, that's for sure. But,
But
you
you were making it happen, right? You were doing it.
Yeah, trial and error, essentially. But
And so how did that do? I mean, like, you're not going to, this is college audiences type thing. This isn't necessarily like.
believe it or not, it's not.
They don't really?
The college kid, first of all, the BW people, like maybe it's different now, but when I was a student, they had no idea we even had a radio station.
Still to this day, like we'll talk about it with people that like either go or went to Baldwin Wallace, and people literally have no idea that there's a whole radio station.
And why do you think that is? Where's the drop there? Who's dropping the ball?
That's a very good question.
So, I mean, someone's dropping the ball there, right? I mean,
very
if
good
you have a radio station and no one knows about it, not even the students, there's someone's not doing a good job there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be a mixture of things. I mean, when it comes down to it, I think it's weird because it's like the students don't know much about it, but like the area, like I heard someone on the Guiltless podcast was talking about the Sting as like their favorite radio station. Like people in the area love it. It gets from like Cleveland to Medina pretty much on the other side of 71, like everything east.
Yeah.
No.
West.
West.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Directions.
Right. Geography.
Well, Ball and Wallace, I just know they're west of 71, so I guess that makes the most sense.
You are correct. They're actually in North Olmsted is where the transmitter is.
Oh,
So
really?
that's why, yeah. But yeah, a lot of people in the area know about it, but not a lot of the students. I don't know. I don't know, Jerb, why is it?
I don't know. You went there. I didn't go there.
So you guys, so you're young, right? You're growing up. You guys live next door to each other. You're in Medina, right? Am I correct?
Yep.
Yes.
You guys become friends. Mm-hmm. Right away, you probably realize, hey, I'm same name, right? That was kind of like what breaks the ice, right?
Well, my mom came over to me and she was like, hey, we got new neighbors, and her name is also Jordan. And I was like, well, let me go see if she's cool, I guess.
There can only be one
You
Jordan.
were like
At that point-
5.
I know, I was.
So I mean, at that point, you're like, there can only be one Jordan. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
And then you grow up and you realize that she's cool. You guys become friends.
Well, our moms were super close.
Oh.
And
Are you guys the same
my
age?
mom and, my
Are you the
mom
same
and your
age?
dad. No, she's 3 years older.
Oh.
So we always knew each other and we were always friends, but we didn't really start like actually hanging out until high school because she drove me to high school every day my freshman year because she was a senior. So that was when we really started to like play music and kind of discover the love for that.
Did you guys?
I believe so.
I feel like we were closer like earlier than that.
Probably, but I remember specifically freshman year.
memories
'cause
began.
That's when you started showing me all of your bands. I feel like that's where my music taste kind of came from because you were driving me to school every day, and I'd be like, "Oh, this is a banger!" Like
Only
okay.
I had aux.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It was
my car, my
It was
aux.
the cassette. It was the cassette. aux.
Yeah, it was the cassette. Yeah, I don't know if you ever had those, the cassette aux cord.
Oh yeah, what's the
Remember
CD
those?
player?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an old man. I remember all that stuff.
That's how it worked. It was purple.
It was purple.
So did you have any older brothers and sisters?
I have a younger brother.
But nothing older.
Nope.
So this became your older sister.
Yep.
So she kind of like guided you into like the music that you're listening to, some of the things you're learning from her. Because at 3 years is a big difference at that point. You know, that's a big gap. And,
Oh yeah.
Now it's like
yeah, it seems
you
like you're the
still
same.
you still see it sometimes. She'll be like, "Hey, you remember this?" And I'm like, "No," and she's like, "That's the age gap."
Well, I can understand that
You
totally.
can tell. Yeah, you can tell.
But
Then
more so
96.
back then, definitely. Like she was like, "Oh my god, I'm 3 years older than you. Like I'm so cool."
Yeah, but throwback to like me being 15, and I'm sorry, Mom, but like taking her car outside and like texting Gerbs at midnight and being like, McDonald's run, and like go hit up McDonald's, like.
And for so long, we thought we got away with it because we went to go get dollar ice cream cones.
Gotta
like,
get that dollar cone.
That was the best. And then we'd be like, "Yeah, we got home. We got the car in the garage. No one knows." And then like, I don't think she said
You, like,
anything to us
Back
for so
out in
long.
neutral, you know.
But she checked the miles. She would check the miles on the car, and she'd be like, "I knew what you guys were doing this entire time." So.
Yeah. And then stealing my brother's car one time, and he had a stick shift, like Ford Focus stick shift, and stalled out in the middle of like the halfway point between McDonald's and our house.
So bad.
It got to the point where like panic ensued. Like you're just like grinding the gears. I'm like, oh my god.
I just gotta get the car back.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we
push
ended
it.
up getting it, and I think we still ended up going to McDonald's.
yeah, we
like we
did.
just like.
Anything for a dollar cone, man. Anything.
So you guys, I guess, you know, like seeing where you guys have led to as a kid, are you one of them people that envisioned yourself as a DJ and envisioned yourself doing this kind of thing? Was this like one of those things that you see, you know, DJ was a big thing at one point, you know, like nowadays it's not
yeah.
like it used to be, but DJs could be stars. They could be, you know, we had Kid Leo in Cleveland years and years ago on MMS. He was a national figure, you know. Nowadays DJs aren't as big as they used to be, but I was the same way, you know. I would see some of these DJ stuff, and I could see myself on a microphone playing records or talking to people just like I'm doing now. But were you that person?
Yeah, I was that person. I listened to Elvis Duran in the morning every single morning, and I was like, I'm going to be the next Elvis Duran. Like, it's going to be like that easy. And then I went to BW for broadcasting. I loved also that, you know, Cleveland's the city of rock and roll. You got Alan Freed that brought rock and roll as like a household
He
name.
coined the term, yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, you know, I like to talk. So that seems like and have conversations with people. Here we are. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do. And then I got into school and I was like, ooh, it's not that realistic to just become like a national syndicate radio host. So I was like, damn, now what? So then I ended up doing PR as a minor and event planning, and I was like, all right, this is kind of more my shtick, but I still love music. Like,
but even that could help you.
everything.
That could really help you in what you're doing now. Something like this, doing the event planning and stuff like that.
yeah.
Just
Oh,
learning all
absolutely.
that kind of stuff. There's a lot of that. The amount of planning that goes on to these shows and all the little stuff in the background and just getting guests and stuff like that. Which is another thing. You guys get some interesting guests, and you guys know a lot of people. When you guys do something, it seems like you get good responses from the people that you're putting on your show and stuff like that. Did that all start with the radio station? So did you meet all these people through what you were saying, getting the bands on there and stuff, and then one band introduced you to another band type thing? It just kind of grows, and now you're at the point you're at now.
I would say, yeah, it's become like a network. And we realized super recently, actually, like that the show LoCle Grown is not necessarily for an audience of people who just love local music, although we love those people and we hope that like they're out there. But we find a lot of the times it's bands who have kind of used us as their common denominator to network with each other. Like, oh, you've been on LoCle Grown. Like, we've been on LoCle Grown, or we have a show with them soon. Like, we just wanted to, the whole idea of the show was because it was like started in a college, we wanted to make sure that it was kind of like training wheels for these bands to be able to, you know, go run with the big dogs one day and do the whole point was for them to be interviewed, you know, have their first interview out of the way.
Well, you guys, well, that's what you kind of do, right? You guys, a lot of the bands that you guys feature are a lot of up and comers and newer bands that are just getting their legs under them and trying to get the things going.
Right. So yeah, we wanted to make sure that it was just like a comfortable setting for them to be able to shake off, like kind of like understand like who they are. Because once you start talking about it out loud, then you're like, okay, like this is now a little bit more firm. Like I feel like it's more established. So, and then they can have it later. So that's why I was happy that we moved off of the radio. We wanted it to be a podcast this whole time since the first episode, but we were like, let's use the resources we have while we have them.
Yeah.
And then after a year, and COVID and everything, that happened, and
We know.
so after that, we were like, let's make this a podcast, and then give them the actual episode so that they can use that for press and their press kits and everything.
Yeah.
We've already done something like this.
So one thing that's interesting about how you do it also is you guys will do like these marathons. It's the way we do it is every week or so that we bring in people and we do interviews and stuff like that, and we just build on that. But you guys have a little different approach to this. You guys will book 10 bands or 12 bands. I don't know how many. I haven't even counted
16 bands.
16. and you'll do this in a fucking day.
Yeah.
You'll get a cool place. You did the House of Blues the one time, and next thing you know, you get all, and you organize all this to happen in a day, which, to me, the time management involved in that, I don't even know if we could pull that off. I'd be like, dude, that's crazy.
You could.
It's a lot,
It is a lot.
And it's a long
worth it,
day.
though.
I mean, I know how hard it is. I know staying, doing this and staying engaged is exhausting. And trying to and to do that many. And you guys were talking to them, and you guys are doing live stuff. And I mean, I thought it was really well done. And
Thank you.
Then you guys, what you do is you take the 16 bands and you make 16 episodes in one day. Genius. I'm like, wow, let's save us a lot of time.
Yeah, you can hear us slowly going insane by the last one.
Yeah.
It's like
Like 4 Red Bulls deep.
Yeah, shout out to Aki and Quasi and Compass, who were our last 3 of the night, and they just Compass. First of all, we were just off the rails with them.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of reeled it in with the hip hop artist towards the end of the night, but it was a little loopy.
Well, you guys have done this twice, right?
3
3
times.
3 times. So each time has it been different? Like, are you guys presented with new challenges, and is like, do you tweak it? Like, do you constantly like go, well, this time we're gonna do it this way because of last time? Is that also part of this whole thing? You're growing locally.
Well, the 88.3, The Sting, they have a summer marathon series. So every Thursday in the summer, they do 18 hours of straight music of one artist. So it'd be Sublime or Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh.
And she used to
Hall
do
and
those.
Oates, yeah.
So when
It's awesome. It's so cool.
It was, super fun. But when LoCle Grown started, she was like, why don't we do a LoCle Grown marathon? So the first year, 18 hours. On the odd hours, we played music from bands that came out of Cleveland that like had made it big. So Kid Cudi
or the area,
or
like,
the
we
area,
did, like, John Legend and
right,
one, and he's
right.
from Steubenville.
I got you.
right. So just like people around the area, and then on the even hours would be bands that came in. So it was like every other one. So it was 9 artists that we did. And then 2 years ago, we were like, all right, well, like let's do it bigger. Let's try it. Let's see if it works. Let's try and bring a band in every hour. 45 minutes, 15-minute flip time, and then go. And then we gave ourselves like 2 hours to like eat lunch and, whatever.
Go to the bathroom.
Yeah, right, yeah. And it worked. Like, it was a very smooth day.
It was,
we were
almost
like,
seamless. It was
right.
crazy.
It was like wild. I was like, I didn't know that we could pull this off, but we could. So let's do it again.
Yeah.
So we tried to do it this year, and I'll let you take. I'll let you take over here.
Yeah, great tee up
Yeah,
there, James.
right.
You're good at this.
Thanks. I try.
So then this year we had it all planned out. We planned in advance because like last year we did not find out our date until like what?
A month and a week probably before.
So Gerbs booked 16 artists and timed them out, and it was like, we made sure that it was an array of genres similar, that's similar to our show. It has to be,
They have to flow nicely.
a good flow. So we had it all laid out well in advance this time. And the Sting, we love them so much. They're like 40, 50. They're going on 60 years, 65 years actually, of just being a radio station. But the last 40 years, they've been in the same studio, right above the Union at BW. The week before our show this past year, we found out that they were relocating to a whole new studio, whole new building actually, and just like uprooting everything.
So they were like, there will be no studio, pretty much.
Wow.
So it was like, hold on, like we might be able to get you guys, we might be able to have either the bare bones at the old studio or the bare bones at the new studio. So we kind of held out until literally 2 days before.
Yeah.
We had confirmed everything with these artists, and
But like 2 months into planning this out and making sure that it was going to be executed correctly.
And yeah, that happened. So luckily, I work with the GM at the House of Blues. So like 2 days before at like 9 p.m. at night, I was like, hey, do you think that we could use this studio? He's like, or use the Cambridge room as our studio for the day, and bring in like 16 different bands and all of this equipment to record a podcast in. And he was like, what? Like, what? Like, okay. He was like, come talk to me. Ended up kind of pitching it to him in real life like the day before. He was like, yeah, we can make that happen. Like, no problem. So shout out Scott Kopp. I love you. Yeah. Like a real Hail Mary. So then we went to Amax Music in Akron.
Big shout out. Big shout out.
Gigantic shout out. They're amazing. They let us rent all of the equipment that we need for a very, very reasonable price. And they were like, yeah, just bring it back on Monday. And if you want to buy any of it, like you can, because we're obviously in the market to look for equipment for our podcast. So we had all of this equipment in the back of my car. And then the night before. Yeah, the night before in Jerb's basement, we like tested all the equipment out. We had no idea what we were doing or using. Like we had this ancient soundboard that we're like, okay, let's try to plug in. Luckily, Jerb's friend was able to, he
help
was
us
a
out.
sound guy, so he kind of helped us, get familiar with
figure
this.
it all out. Yeah, good.
Like it was insanely overwhelming, and we were like we were too focused on getting this to happen that we like couldn't even panic. We had like a 20-minute pity party, and then we were like, no. We had several 20-minute pity parties.
Yeah, there's a couple.
All right, I'm going to take a break real quick. When we come back, I want to hear a little more about this.
Okay.
I want to get more into this because this sounds like a really good story.
Break.
When we come back with the girls from LoCle Grown.
Hello, everybody. This is my buddy Jason. He's one of the head chefs here, and we are at the Harbor House here. I'd like to start off by saying, in 2018, they won what was it then? The most?
Yeah, I think it was the whole street got an award.
Yes, it was the bridges.
Main Street of America.
Yes, Main Street of America. That's what it was. And he's gonna. I'd like to say that I come here quite a bit for the pork shake, but the crab legs, crab cakes are some of the best I've ever had ever. They also do Thursdays. What do you do on Thursdays?
We do sushi on Thursdays only, which is all the fish gets brought in Thursday morning, and we prepare it to order. It's a pretty good hit.
You have a pretty big menu. What would you say something about the menu?
The menu, everything is pretty much. Our burgers are a big hit here. They're all hand formed with 80/20 ground beef from Blue Ribbon Meats in Cleveland, and we have goat cheeseburgers, mushroom Swiss, smash burgers, a very good hit. We have different array of seafood, pastas, steaks. Everything's pretty much scratch kitchen here, and we just try to provide the best food for our community here in Asheville Harbor.
I got to tell you, we were really impressed with the vodka linguine.
That's my favorite.
That's the big hit for us.
And the pork shake.
Oh yeah, well that pork shake, that's a given.
And the brisket mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, my daughter.
I have to get one of those to go home.
Brisket mac and cheese.
Yeah.
The meals seem to be very well priced. It's not really expensive. The quality of food that we received, I was dumbfounded when I got the bill. But yeah, it's a beautiful place you have here. They also have liquor, which is, my thing.
Well, we have an array of a lot of specialty drinks that our girls and the owners make and change regularly. So
Awesome. Thank you guys. Say bye, Jason.
bye.
Thank
Come
you.
come visit us. We'd be happy to have
What are
you.
your hours?
Sunday through 7 days a week, 11 to close is at 9, and on Sundays we open at noon.
Okay.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
Come see us. You too.
And we are back with the girls from LoCle Grown, the Jordans.
That's us. Growing up, everyone was like, "That's a guy name." I'm like, "Okay, well, like, come at my mother, not me. I don't know. Like, come on."
Shout out to fourth grade, first day, and like when you get assigned like roles so that you have like a sense of responsibility in class. I was the boys' bathroom inspector, and I said, "I have a problem with mine, please." Like,
How did they do that?
they just they saw
Assumed.
Jordan and they just
assumed.
they're like, "That's the boys' bathroom
I
inspector."
see what you're saying. So
I'm like-
I'm a little slow.
No, I'm just not in fourth grade. They made
fourth
me
grade.
they made me the tally leader, and I was like, yeah. That was like I don't even remember what that role was, but I remember
But
coveting
you rocked it.
I remember coveting it. I was like, yeah, I do the tallies on the board, so fuck with me.
You
Thank
should put that on your resume.
Went like upgrade from the boys' bathroom inspector to tallier. I think my teacher probably just felt bad now that I'm thinking about it.
So you guys got involved not too long ago. You were involved in something where you guys were. I don't even know how to say it. Maybe
We've had a journey.
Yeah. You guys had to. This was something you guys entered into, and things seemed on the up and up. Seemed like a whole huge opportunity for you guys, and then some people let you down. And let's get into this a little bit. Let's talk about this a little bit, and so people can actually see how certain things work out there, and not everything is exactly what it seems to be.
Listen. So we've decided that the universe just really doesn't want us to do this podcast. We've said it like for the last year now. It's just been wild. Like once it started picking up at the station and we were getting all these artists booked in, then, boom, 2020 happened. So we're trying to do locally grown from home, doing these Instagram lives with bands, like just trying to like make the best out of it, and then ended up getting back into the studio. And then last year they were like, hey, we need you out of the studio or to move to a different time slot. And we're like, we can't do that. So it's just been like a lot of shifting up until the point where we became, off 88.3 The Sting. So we were like, where do we go from here? That was what, August of 2021? I want to say, I feel. Okay. So we were like, where do we go from here? Like, we want to become a podcast. How do we start this? Should we partner with someone? Like, how do we, what makes sense? And someone at the Sting actually recommended working with,
Music venue.
and we were like, hey, like, because they were looking for a podcast to host in the tavern, live from
Music venue.
it was like a whole thing that we were trying to
You
do.
really wanted a podcast at the place itself.
Yeah, and then they ended up just employing us and like just basically wanted us to like not do podcasting things. They wanted us to do marketing
They
things.
kind of wanted us to do like a street team thing.
So they pulled you in for one thing. It was like a bait and switch almost.
Yeah.
Yes. And so long story short, we held out there for about 6 months, and then we were like kind of enticed by another company that was new, fresh. They were starting from the ground, and they really wanted to do like an artist management situation. They had this beautiful studio that was, near our hometown. We're like, hey, this is pretty cool. Like, let's see what happens. Did a couple of tours in there. They pitched us a really good idea of, we'll provide the equipment and you guys bring in artists and it'll be a beautiful harmonious thing.
Okay, so let me get this right. So
Take
so
it-
this
yeah.
this is a more of a, not a studio. This is a building. This is like a facility, and inside this facility, there's several different studios and several different aspects of this for different reasons. I mean, you could go there, maybe do a music video if you're in a band, if they had something set up for that.
Yeah, yeah.
You could do a podcast. They could record you there. They wanted to kind of be like
A hub.
the everything.
Yeah.
So-
Like an all-encompassing.
One band, you could do all your stuff here, all around until the end, and then that's
Yeah.
what they wanted.
So it sounded perfect. So we ended up parting ways with the venue that we were, still like kind of tied to. And we're like, let's do this podcast thing. They had the equipment set up. We did a few episodes with them, and it was wonderful.
Until it wasn't.
Oh,
So yeah, life just really likes to push you around and bully you. Throw you
So
in the
what
dirt.
happens though? I mean, like so I mean, like they basically what they did was they kind of bring you guys in, right? And they're trying to bring anybody in at this point. They're starting up.
Yes,
They're just trying to get artists in here and people in here who can help their situation. And you guys were one of those people. And this was like a mutual thing. You were helping us out. We're helping you out. Da 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 da.
I mean, like, it was perfect. It seemed perfect because they need artists and we interview artists. So
how-
it's like,
So what's their plan? What was their business plan? How did they go about? How do they get you in? Do you sign contracts with these people, or how does that work?
Yeah, there was a contract that we signed just for 3 months to try things out, see what we could do from there. They provided the equipment.
When you say the equipment, you mean everything.
Everything.
Everything. They recorded it all, sent it all to us within, a certain amount of time, and then we would edit it from there. And they also had like a video element too, so that was really cool. The studio itself was beautiful, so we were just really like, we bought in, and we're also locally grown, so like, and we're young, we're like, yeah, like independent, like startup, you know, hip, cool. We want to like be in this with you. And then after a month of us like actually recording, they kind of gouged us a little bit. So everything was proposed, after those 3 months, it's going to be double. So
The cost.
the cost. And we made it very clear from the start that everything we did was out of pocket. The two of us, we've got our full-time jobs. I'm sure you and Pat do as well. And you know better than anyone. Like, this shit ain't easy. Like,
or cheap.
or cheap, that's for sure. So, we paid for the studio space, and they, provided the equipment. So that was the
give and take.
The give and take, exactly. So they raised the prices on us exponentially.
And there was no like when you guys first started talking to these guys, there was none of that discussed. You guys had no idea that they were going to do that.
Now, I assume I work in sponsorship, so I know that after a deal is over, a contract ends, like they're going to want to ask for more money. So we expected like maybe a little bit, but double was just like
For the same amount of content.
Yeah.
You know
the
what I
same
mean?
thing.
So,
You're not getting any more.
exactly.
But they are.
Correct. So it really rubbed us the wrong way. They said that they need to value their time more, and that was like a huge slap in the face for them.
The icing on the cake, though, was they said that our podcast was not good enough for their portfolio.
Yeah,
A portfolio that didn't exist.
Exactly.
correct.
So-
So yeah, it was like, I think it was like a personal opinion. I think they were maybe a little too big for their britches in that
Yeah,
time.
that's what it sounds like, right? It sounds like they bit more off than they can chew.
They were thinking really big, and I loved that about them, but it ended up like coming back at us at the end because we ended up getting scorned. We like had marketing plan with them. Like, they were promoting our stuff too. We were promoting all of their stuff. I like had hosted an event for them, and it was, I thought that it was like a friendship more, and that's probably where
The mistake
it
was
ended up
made,
being
yeah.
a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were very, very
You trusted.
business.
Let's be honest. You trusted people, and that's what gets you in trouble sometimes, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know it does.
So after these two experiences, we have decided to do it all ourselves.
Yeah,
100%. We're not working with anybody as far as like like studios go anymore. Like we're getting our own space.
Getting our own equipment.
Gonna fill that space. Both of our basements right now are just flooded
Up to our eyeballs and shit. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you guys have been buying stuff and stuff? You guys have been doing all this? Really?
Since we broke it off there, that's been like our next priority. We're like, let's just get a bunch of cool stuff, fill a studio, like find a space that we can actually rent out and do ourselves. So I think we can say it because it's ours.
Yeah.
We have a studio now, and we are about to move in any moment. Probably
Ready?
when
Drum roll, please.
Is this an exclusive, Level Up Cleveland exclusive right now?
It just might
I
be.
think so.
I think so.
Level Up Cleveland excuse. Level.
Try it again.
That just sucks.
Excuses.
Excuses.
Level Up Cleveland exclusive.
Ooh, you should just
Do
take
that?
sound
Just
bite.
do that?
Get that sound bite.
Another Level Up Cleveland exclusive.
It's the sigh at
Yeah,
the end.
it is the
That's
sigh.
beautiful.
It's the relief.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Okay, here it is.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Rock and Roll City Studios.
Oh, we know them.
They've been building, if you know anything about them, they're building a whole second building that's attached to the current studio that's been going on since like the 90s. And we have been in communication with the Brian there, actually, about finding like a space for our podcast. They found the perfect room for us. It doesn't have any walls.
It's an interior room.
It's an interior room, and it doesn't share a wall with like a rehearsal space
Oh.
studio. So next to it on one side is a hallway, and next to it on the other side
Is a closet.
Yeah, a maintenance closet. They're also building a stage with a room that has 100-person capacity, and we're right behind it. So
And you have access to that room
yep.
when you do it? That's good.
Actually, all of the bands that are at Rock and Roll City Studios, for those of you guys who don't know, it's a rehearsal space, kind of like an apartment, and every room is a band rehearsing, kind of like this place.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah, it's like 3 stories and just giant. It's over in the Clark Fulton area. Beautiful. And they, just beautiful.
It is.
I'm right there. I live
Gorgeous,
over there. I
darling.
live over there. So yeah, they have this beautiful space, and all of the bands that are currently like residing there can use that stage for their stage presence, like practicing. They can also do gigs there. So there's like a whole bunch of opportunity there, and we're gonna. I feel like this is it for us. Like we're gonna fit in like a glove. It's a beautiful place, and they're just waiting on those final inspections. But we're in the first round.
We're
There's
just
a
waiting
little-
on the fire
a
marshal.
little piece of blue tape with Jordans on it, and that seems like it's going to be ours.
It's an excellent idea what you guys are doing. So I'll just tell you that from our experience, it's an excellent idea because you're going to have your first, however many bands that are probably 40 or there 50. I don't know how many they got down there, but you have a supply. But you guys are going to find out honestly that's a great thing because that when we did this here, we're still plucking them from the building, and every time they come on, I always say another band from Level 5, because this is called Level 5. So we're less level up. Do you see what we did there?
Whoa.
Yes, that's how it kind of all happened. Plus, everybody was going with this level up theme all over the place, and I was like, well, we'll steal that, and then it makes sense here.
I love it.
It just
I
all
love
works.
it.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're excited about. Like, there's just so much opportunity there, and
Yeah,
but the best part of it all that we've just been wanting this whole time is just like full control.
Yeah, like that's our space. That's our space 365 days a year, like 24 hours a day. We could go in there whenever we want and do what we love to do.
Hell yeah, you'll love it. You guys are gonna love that. That's gonna be it makes it easy.
Thank you.
And once they know you're in there, they're gonna be knocking on your door and stuff like that, saying, "Can we get on?"
Yeah, open door
And then,
policy,
yeah.
please.
And then we can
please.
have maybe you guys in the
Oh, yeah.
studio.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we gotta come down. We're gonna. I mean, this whole thing can't be a one-way thing. We gotta come down and hang out with you guys next too. You guys,
Absolutely.
no one's ever asked us any questions.
Brian,
that?
how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I feel a lot better now that you asked me a question. I feel wanted. I was feeling left out.
I feel it. I know it's weird because I was like, I didn't know how this was gonna feel being on the receiving end of the questions, but I think it's
Pretty comfortable. You guys doing pretty good.
Yeah,
you guys
thank
doing
you.
pretty good
Thank
with it too.
Thanks, we're trying.
So what's the future like after this? So I mean, like, do you guys have a different at all plan about what you're going to do here? I mean, because I'll say why. Because this is a big step. You're kind of like I don't want to say legitimizing yourselves, but you are, right? I mean, like you're
Yes.
kind of like taking another step to what. So because you're doing that, are you thinking about how you're going to tweak the show now in order to kind of like proportionally grow? You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? So have you guys discussed those things? Are you guys looking to tweak things? Is it going to be?
Oh
ahead.
yeah,
What do you-
completely. And I think we learn a lot just with every experience. Like
Right,
we're learning a lot
doing it.
here today. Like just seeing you guys and seeing like how another podcast does their things. Like we learned, when we were with Please Don't Come Again, podcasting is just a whole different medium.
Totally.
And I never listened to podcasts before starting my own. I don't know about you if you were.
No,
a big
no,
podcast
he
guy.
did. Pat was always doing that. So I do have the benefit of having him for that because he was big on podcasts. We were talking about doing this 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and it just never happened. We were concentrating on music, and then this was just like it was just time.
Well, we were too. That's really funny because me and Jerbs, I mean, we grew up playing music together.
Oh, well, what kind? What do you guys do? What kind of? What is it? What is it?
Guitar, piano, singing.
You guys play?
Like acoustic, yeah.
No shit.
yeah.
We didn't even talk about that. You guys
We're
play.
talking about it now, Brian.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know. I didn't even know. So, what do you guys do? Like, what do you play?
We both sing. I play guitar, a little bit of piano, a little bit of cajon, and a little bit of uke.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Well, her mom, her grandpa, like her side of the family has all just been
I come from
very
country
musically
music.
talented.
Oh yeah. So a lot of country music in my blood.
Are you a country music person yourself?
I like.
She is. She is.
Not the new stuff, like not the stuff you hear on the radio. Like I like
The
the,
pop
older
country,
stuff.
you're a little more on the older country stuff.
Yeah, and it's not even older, like necessarily, but like Chris Stapleton, also like the
I can fu-
Caribbean
yeah.
country, like Toby Keith and Kenny
yeah.
Chesney and stuff like that. Like that's what I grew up listening to. But yeah, and then you also.
Yeah, I do. I've always had a piano, so
You're a keys person.
yeah. Oh my God, not really though. But like,
What do you mean? No?
Like I'm not like Stephen Fiddle Revolt. Like
Yeah,
keys.
no,
Like,
yeah, no.
I don't, or like Mikey Silas keys. Like I can play a little bit. I took lessons for a minute, but like I showed her how to play, and her mom like kind of taught me more of guitar, and we like learned together and just kind of like I think that's probably the beginning of the chemistry that we created was because
For sure.
it was like eye contact. And
Cajon, but not drums.
Nope, not drums. Oh, that's too much.
I'd love to see you fuck up some drums though.
See, I've tried. It's too much going on at once. But the cajon I can do. The cajon I like that.
She does it well. She does it
It's
well.
fun. It's a fun time.
So you guys could pretty much you could make a song and completely yourselves do it. I mean,
See,
you could do that.
This is something I've been saying because we were
know.
gigging a little bit before COVID, and then as soon as COVID hit, then that was kind of like obviously gigs were not happening.
yeah.
And then the
We
podcast.
focused more on like the podcast aspect of things, and we were like, let's give a light. I have always said it, like I do love music. It's a great therapeutic outlet. Like you guys know this more than anything, but like I feel like I belong behind the mic, talking to these people and like amping up their musical abilities. But Jerbs, however, she's got a talent that like can't be ignored. I'm serious, and I'm dead ass serious. Like she's got this voice like butter. It's just
Smooth like
See,
butter.
but then I come at her and I'm like, but the harmonies though.
The harmonies-
But the harmonies.
the harmonies do hit. The harmonies do hit.
But however, we did put out an EP like 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years
like
ago.
3 years, yeah. Yeah.
And we've been always saying that we always wanted to do like an acoustic version of it because it's we were working with Easy Living Culture, which is a rap group in Cleveland, and it's very much on top of beats and whatnot. But always because I've always played acoustically, like that's where we come from. So always wanted to do a live acoustic album. And now that we're going to have a studio, it kind of would make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of twisting her arm a little bit over here on this one.
The songs are really good. Like we do. She writes a lot of really good stuff. I'll like throw
So
a
do you.
verse on there. Yeah, exactly what you get in the podcast. Like that's the kind of energy that's
Same
also put in the
collaboration,
music,
yeah.
which
Sweet.
is cool.
So are you guys gonna do your own show theme song? Are you guys gonna do that yourselves
No.
and then put it out? Come on, why not?
Because we've got a good one right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
see,
Got a
Joe
good
Big
one.
Green. He always kills it, and he's actually written both
That's
of
cool.
our theme songs for us. So
Yeah, he's wonderful. He like wrote us a theme song without us even asking after an interview. He was like, that was just so fun. And then the next, like that night or the next day, he sent us like a couple of files.
Like less than 24 hours later, he was like, hey, here you go.
Yeah.
We're like, dope.
We're
Cool,
like,
thanks.
and it's like, we honor the Jordan and Jordan. And we're like, that's us. Like, we're both Jordan. Like, so yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It does seem
I
like
wanna
you
keep
guys make a lot of friends. I got to say that's a fact that from the little bit I know of you guys, I think that it seems like once people are done meeting you and hanging out with you for a little while, you guys have made another friend.
Yes.
And so this is the best thing to happen to a podcaster. And
That's
Gerbs, I want to talk a little bit about Gerbs.
Let's focus on Gerbs.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Gerbs for a second, because she just was in a video with one of the bands that we just had on our show not too long ago, the Fiddle Revolt.
Yes.
You were on with Steven?
Steven and Uncle Sam.
Oh. Tell me a little bit about that, how that all go and what was involved in all that.
So Uncle Sam, he's originally from Indiana, and then we met him through Topgolf. He actually does a traveling position, so he gets to work in all the different venues around. So we met him. He's a rapper, and he's been putting out some music for a little while now. He's really, really good, and we'd been talking for a while about collaborating on a song. So he sent me over a track one day, and he was like, hey, like, I got a verse. Will you hit this, please? Jordan's fiance actually recorded it in their bedroom.
It's very recent. It's very recent.
It is.
Get a close up on that.
But yeah, so we did the song, we laid it down, and Stephen Mason actually was on it too. So it was the three of us, and
Stephen Mason from Fiddle Revolt.
Yeah, Stephen Mason from Fiddle Revolt. But yeah, we shot the music video at the Treehouse in Tremont, if you're familiar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and it turned out awesome, if I have to say.
Awesome.
I was
So cool.
never been in a music video before, so I was like very self-conscious a little bit. the
She
whole
called
time.
me up. She's like, could you please come to this shooting? I'm like, dude,
I was like, will you
it's like
please?
7 p.m. on a Thursday.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
we got
Please,
work
will
the
you
next
be there
day.
for moral support? So I guilt tripped her. She came. She's actually in the music video too. So.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Got my Browns hat in there. A
But
nice
yeah.
little close up.
Now you said something about Top Golf.
Yep. So that's where me and Jordan. Well, I was gonna say that's where we started. No.
There's a little story that goes with that, though, right? Like a little like how you guys.
Yep. So we started the show LoCle Grown in 2019, October of 2019, and then we started working at Topgolf like immediately after that. So we had a couple of bands booked up, one being the Fiddle Revolt, and we were waiting in line one day either to clock in or get our polos or whatever, and we're standing there. And we start talking with Stephen Mason, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in a band," and we're like, "Oh, cool. We do this local show called LoCle Grown." And he's like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "I'm in the Fiddle Revolt," and we're like, "Wait." We're like,
Insert
we
the
haven't.
Mr. Krabs meme of
Right.
like just
What?
disorientation.
We're like, wait, we have an interview with you in like 2 weeks. So that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What a coincidence that is.
Yeah.
And then that's how, and eventually that leads to you getting into the video also, because you guys are working together. They're on the show, and then no kidding, man.
Yeah.
The Topgolf clan is literally just like
Very tight.
tight knit
Yes.
group of people. Like I left there over a year ago, and I still like see and hang out with these people. Like it's like yesterday, you know, like just very close people.
Yeah, like great group of homies, and everybody that was in the music video was all people from
All
Topgolf
Topgolf
too. So, yeah, they go up, they go hard. If you want to check out that music video, it's called "Call Me When You're Ready." Uncle Sam with a K and 2 M's.
It's so Uncle Sam is what it's under. So Uncle Sam is the artist that it's under, and it's with 2 Ks.
1 K and 2 M's.
UNKLE
Yep.
SAMM.
Yep.
Cool. And as far as your guys' music goes, how do people get to hear some of that? Do you guys have that out? I mean, can I dial it up and go listen to you guys? Is there access?
Yeah, it's there. It's
What's
out
up?
there in the
Come
world.
on.
It's
Tell
on
us-
SoundCloud.
What is it? Is it under your names? Is it what names do you guys go under?
You want to guess?
The Jordans.
No.
It has no Jordans in there.
But it has to do with our name still. It is
J something.
Urban Lair.
Oh.
So Laird without the D. But
Yep.
I
Urban
like
Lair.
it. I
Urban
like
Lair
it.
was our name. Is our name? I don't know. And yeah.
City dwelling.
The EP, the 4-song EP is called Squared because J Squared was literally always what we were called.
Always.
So go on Bandcamp for this?
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud?
SoundCloud.
And that's it? No other place? You didn't put it anywhere else?
Nope, that was it.
Nope.
That's all we had.
And when the show, you guys, now, so are you guys still putting shows out right now from, is it currently or?
So by the time this comes out, we will have finished season 2. Season 2 is technically done right now as we speak, but we are going to drop one more bonus episode around Thanksgiving, and that's going to be our LoCle Grown live show. So we did that at Crowbar with Mikey Silas, who does from Apostle Jones, and he's been taking over Crowbar over on St. Clair every other Tuesday, right?
I believe so.
Amazing. He does something new every single time. He had like a tarot card reader one time. He does open mic nights after his like specialty. So the specialty was us in September, and we interviewed Corey Michaels and Dragon, who are these two awesome solo artists. And then we actually interviewed the owner, Jared of Crowbar, because
Great idea.
Because this place is amazing. Have you been in there before?
Yeah, I've heard
It's
a
really
lot
cool.
about it. Though.
Croatian.
You've been there. Pat was there.
It's gorgeous. It's a Croatian hall, and it's like similar to the ceilings that you guys have here, but they put LED lights in. They took the panels out. Really made this very cool, unique dive bar. That's
Very
just
cool
like,
spot.
like a little hush hush, a little secret. So
And he was refusing interviews. So when we were like, "Hey, will you come up on stage and like say a couple words?" He was like,
I'll say
but then
a
he
word
did.
or two.
But then he
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And I think he had fun with it. I think he did.
He did for sure. So that episode with it's kind of lumped into one as just like the LoCle Grown Live bonus episode. That's going to be coming out close to Thanksgiving, and that'll be the end of season 2.
And then season 3 will start at Rock and Roll City.
Yep. And the new stewed.
Hoping, looking for like January, since we don't have the studio in our grasps yet. We're waiting on an actual date, but January is what we're looking at right now for season 3.
Cool. That's awesome, guys. You guys are moving along nicely. Everything's looking like it's got a lot of. The future looks good.
We're winging it.
Well, that's
Fake it till you make it,
Yeah,
baby.
we are.
we call ourselves King Wing It. That's
King
what we do.
Well, we'll be queen wing.
We
Queens wing
wing
it.
everything.
Gotta
here.
fake it till you make it, baby.
Yeah, there's no way to do this any other way. I mean, we it's not like we've done this before or we know anything about it. It's like you guys, you know that you can do it if you have the right everything else in place.
You just gotta want it, honestly. I said earlier, like the universe just keeps telling us no, putting a big middle finger. Like I got a flat tire on my way here. I got a flat tire on my way here.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Do you guys change your own tire?
No, we pulled into because right when Jerb saw it, she was like, pull over. And I pulled into a marathon.
I was like, you need to go right now.
She makes you sound
right here.
like Satan. Pull over.
It was like that. It was that though. We were like 5 minutes away from here, and we happened to pull into a marathon that also has a car service. And I ran in there while this guy's working on a car, and I'm like, I have a meeting in like 20 minutes. Like, can you help us? And he's like, just back in the car. Like, yeah, whatever. And he just filled it with air. So when we go out there, it might be flat. It might not. We'll find out very soon.
We'll worry about that in a little bit.
I think I got my tire plugs out there if I have to.
Okay.
put a plug in.
Nice.
Go dad.
But yeah,
Please go
this
dad
is
mode
like
on us.
this is like the second
need help.
time that something has happened to a car on the way to do something, like whether it's an interview or something with the podcast.
Meetings.
The last time she like literally ran over a gas can. Jordan has this
Like
really
a 20-gallon
I
gas can,
love
like
this girl to
huge.
death,
Maybe
but
not 20
she's
gallons, but like
5 gallons big.
Listen,
yeah,
this
big
girl
boy.
loves eye contact. You've heard her say it multiple times while we've been here. She loves to make eye contact while she drives.
Don't say that on the air.
I will say it. I will say it. She'll be like so focused, and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, like you know what I mean." And I'm like, "Jordan, look at the road." And I'm like, as soon as I'm telling this, I'm like, "Dude, look!" And there's literally a gas can in the middle of the highway. So yeah, she ran it over. We're on the side of the highway, just trying to get this gas can out from underneath the car.
Oh, it got wedged underneath the car.
Oh yeah,
so
it was
what
a
we
whole
did,
situation.
We had to like drive into the median where it's like grass and like a ditch,
Yeah.
dives down a little bit. Got it at the angle. Used an umbrella, the hook part of an umbrella, and like scooped it out while I drove. It was a whole thing, and then we were on time. to that.
You guys did. You made it.
And we were on time to this one too. So whoop, woo, thank you.
The world keeps testing us,
And
but
we're like, yep, we're gonna keep on going.
I love it. All right,
We are
well, we'll
here.
be keeping an eye out for you guys. Honestly, I mean, I'm excited about this. I think you guys are going to do really well there.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
we're gonna have you on our, so tune into LoCle Grown. You'll see the Level Up boys.
Yeah, that'll probably be our first interview.
hey,
You better do not go get another interview.
Well,
Now we are your first
Get the
interview.
ball rolling, ladies.
Call Brian at RRCS. Call
No,
your
honestly,
other Brian.
honestly, yeah, well, I'd love to do it. I'd love to come down there. It'd be fun. I think it'd be a blast.
we're gonna do it.
Absolutely.
We'll have a good time. All right, keep your eyes open. Their music, their podcasts, all the stuff, their live stuff they're going to be putting out. When you guys get in Rock and Roll City, who knows where you take all that with the other room and all that stuff going on? You can never
Who
know.
knows? Not us.
Wing it.
Exactly.
All right, guys, we'll see you guys next week. We're out.
Thank you guys.
Hello, Cleveland. I am ZM Delgado, author of the Rust Belt Rock Review at ZachO'Lantern.com, and this is your weekend concert calendar update. First off on the agenda, Friday the 9th at the Sly Fox, you're going to be able to see Olethea with support from Like Tyrants and Galactic Reptile. Second on your agenda for the weekend will be at the Foundry Saturday the 10th, where we're going to have the reunion show for Sodomized. In support, you're going to be able to see Carnusia, Mulciber, Blood Coven, and Fake Muslims. And there you have it, your weekend laid out before you, ready for you to rock. I hope to see you out there, Cleveland. Thanks for reading the Rust Belt Rock Review. Thank you for watching Level Up Cleveland, and I will see you next time. Back to you, Brian.
That'll be fine.